reports on fuel subsidy cuts unethical. Enhancing efficiency to attract investors remains a priority. Good evening and salam Malaysia Madani. You are watching Malaysia Tonight. I'm Otto Othman. Now, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim described foreign media reports regarding fuel subsidy cuts as unethical and that no final decision was made at the cabinet level regarding the issue. He said due to his administration's firm political stance, the neighbouring and international media continue to attack in terms of negative news, citing the casino development issue in Johor as it was never discussed but eventually became a hot issue. Another issue, he said, was of withdrawing diesel subsidy. Although it was initially discussed, there was no final decision regarding the implementation date.
Patutnya tengok fakta. Jadi saya lihat ini nampak berlarutan dan saya harap kita terima prinsip kebebasan tetapi harus ada etika berdasarkan fakta dan keputusan. Dalam hal ini, jemaah menteri belum membuat apa sebarang keputusan. Tamat. Jadi bagaimana boleh kita pastikan sekian dan sekian kerana motif-motif yang tidak sihat.
He said this to reporters after attending the Prime Minister's meeting with community leaders in Georgetown today. Yesterday, a foreign news outlet reported that Malaysia planned to cut fuel subsidies as part of economic reform measures. The report cited industry and government sources who claimed that diesel prices would be floated according to market prices in the weeks following the Kuala Kubu Baharu by-election on 11th May. It also claimed that the move would be followed by a gradual increase in the retail price of petrol. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi advised all parties to exercise self-regulation when posting or touching on the 3R issues, namely royalty, religion and race. Now, he said this because too many news items on such topics nowadays are being turned into controversies across various platforms. Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid further emphasised the importance of refraining from reckless writing and reflecting deeply on the implications considering Malaysia's diverse ethnic, religious and racial makeup.
Kerana perkara 3R terlalu banyak dijadikan polemik dan perdebatan, maka kita harus tahu sensitiviti tiga perkara ini dan pada hemat saya harus terdapat keseimbangan dan biarlah tidak perlu perundangan untuk mengawal tetapi kita kawal diri, terutamanya penulis-penulis yang harus menggunakan sesuatu yang tidak sensitif untuk disampaikan dan bukan secara sembrono menulis apa saja yang ada di benak pemikiran kita.
He was speaking to reporters after inaugurating the National Writers Union Malaysia or GAPENA complex and hosting an Aidul Fitri gathering with writers in Kuala Lumpur. He also suggested that the Ministry of Communications, the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Higher Education should strive for better practices to improve media freedom, with writers or individuals disseminating sensitive issues to the Malaysian public exercising self-regulation. Now, the names of subsidized cooking oil repackaging companies identified to have engaged in malpractice related to the controlled goods will be revealed once the full report is received. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living KPDN Minister Dato' Armizan Muhammad Ali said several states have yet to complete the audit process and submit their reports to the ministry.
Ada negeri yang belum selesai lagi audit tersebut dan sebaik laporan itu sedia kita akan melaksanakan pengumuman dan juga tindakan yang perlu.
Dalam tahun ini juga ke?
Ya, dalam tahun ini.
He also said those who sell subsidized cooking oil online without adhering to the prices and quantities set by the government will face legal action for violating the Control of Supplies Act 1961, Act 122. A social media search revealed that the items are being sold in bulk, priced at 90 ringgit for 3 boxes containing 50 subsidized cooking oil packets and 900 ringgit for 50 boxes containing 850 packets. Dato' Armizan also urged the public to cooperate by lodging formal complaints to KPDN regarding any misconduct related to controlled items before sharing them on social media. The government will launch the National Anti-Corruption Strategy, or NACS 2024-2028, focusing on enhancing anti-corruption efforts to improve governance and integrity in public administration and government-linked companies. In a statement today, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said that the NACS, which will replace the National Anti-Corruption Plan or NACP 2019-2023, will be officially launched by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim at the Putrajaya International Convention Centre on 7th May. He mentioned that the NACS is a government initiative to develop a national anti-corruption strategy in line with the Article 5 of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which mandates all member countries, including Malaysia, to produce a document serving as the primary reference for national-level anti-corruption initiatives. Tan Sri Azam stated that to ensure the effectiveness of implementing NACS, a comprehensive monitoring mechanism will be established by the MACC's Governance and Compliance Monitoring Bureau, where monitoring and evaluation reports will be presented at the National Governance Cabinet Special Committee chaired by the Prime Minister for endorsement before being submitted to Cabinet meetings and Parliament. He emphasized that MACC is fully prepared to coordinate various programs under the strategies outlined in NACS. The Real Estate and Housing Developers Association Malaysia, REDA, believes that the salary hike for civil servants this December could lead to more opportunities for the group to purchase properties. REDA President Dato' Tong said while the rising cost of living and building materials continue to affect affordability for people and developers, news of civil servants' salary increases may have provided some relief. He mentioned that although the proposed salary increase may not immediately alleviate the issue of unaffordable housing in Malaysia, REDA hopes it will have a positive ripple effect on the industry and the nation in the long run. He also explained that with the inevitable rising energy costs globally, which is the prime input to building materials, compliance costs should be at least be reduced without comprising any regulations and laws. Meanwhile, despite the country having some trouble training new sets of foreign labor in the industry after the COVID-19 pandemic, the Industrialized Building System, or IBS, has not been appealing enough for developers. Dato' Tong said this is simply because Malaysia still does not have the economy of scale to carry out the system. He said IBS will certainly improve quality and nice to be adopted, but it will be more expensive for now because as there is a need to standardize and add volume. However, the president cautioned that inadequate use of IBS to cater to lower volume would lead to prices increasing. With 4 days left remaining until the first flight of pilgrims arrives for the 1445 Hijrah 2024 Hajj season in the Holy Land of Medina, Tabung Haji personnel are now actively making final preparations. Malaysian Vice Consul Hajj and Medina Operations Director Ashraf Shamsuddin said that almost 90% of the preparations have been completed to ensure the comfort and well-being of Hajj pilgrims while fulfilling the fifth pillar of Islam.
Secara asasnya kita telah bersedia untuk menerima ketibaan jemaah haji yang dijadualkan pada 9 Mei 2024 dan pasukan kami telah menyiapkan bangunan-bangunan penginapan jemaah haji. Ibu Pejabat Tabung Haji di Madinah telah melakukan persediaan yang rapi dan insya-Allah baik untuk menerima semua jemaah haji pada musim haji pada kali ini.
Upon their arrival in Madinah, the pilgrims will be directly transported by bus to their designated accommodation hotel. Ashraf said during the 6 days and 5 nights spent in Madinah, the pilgrims' time will be filled with activities such as briefings, a tour of historic sites, and a visit to the Nabawi Mosque. Next in the business segment, Pulau Penang focuses on high-impact sectors, diversifying investment inflows.
Tiada jalan mudah untuk berjaya dan tiada jalan mudah untuk bahagia. Jadi buang tabiat tidak baik untuk berjaya dan bahagia. Buang perangai kita yang ingin mengambil hati orang. Buang gaya hidup buruk yang tak sihat.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim emphasised the importance of Malaysia maintaining its competitive edge in attracting investors to the country, stressing the need for continual improvement in efficiency. While acknowledging recent reforms aimed at expanding approval processes, he noted that there was still room for improvement. He urged comparison not just with Malaysia's past performance but also with other countries, citing Saudi Arabia's interest in investing in the country.
Dengan kekuatan dan kestabilan politik yang ada, fokus kita mestilah menjana pertumbuhan ekonomi. Dan seperti mana Saudara Chow sebut sebentar tadi, kunjungan saya ke dunia Arab baru-baru ini khususnya ke Riyadh atas undangan putera Perdana Menteri Muhammad bin Salman untuk hadir untuk World Economic Forum. Selain daripada Aramco yang melabur besar di Pengerang, 10 bilion ringgit, yang terakhir ini adalah dari Aqua. Jadi syarikat Aqua, satu syarikat energi terbesar di Arab Saudi, bersetuju untuk melabur dan diberikan dalam berapa tempoh sekarang sehingga 5 tahun akan datang sebanyak 10 bilion ringgit.
Met at the closing of the Northern Region Madani Rakyat 2024 program in Georgetown today, Datuk Seri Anwar emphasised the necessity of genuine efforts from both state and federal governments to improve efficiency, dismissing mere claims of doing one's best as insufficient. On another note, Datuk Seri Anwar urged all implementing agencies, particularly ministries, to prioritise the training of young people on artificial intelligence, AI, so that the country does not fall behind in this field. The Prime Minister said in this regard, training for technical and vocational education and training TVET fields should be given emphasis and enhanced by ensuring that anyone interested, including religious school students, benefit from programs provided by the ministries and government agencies. Datuk Seri Anwar, who is also Finance Minister, said that AI and TVET-related training must be accessible to all to avoid disparities in capabilities between urban and rural areas.
TVET itu juga harus ditingkatkan, memenuhi. Ya. Sekarang kita ada 3-4 hari yang lalu, Microsoft 10.5 bilion ringgit. Ya. Perlukan puluhan ribu pekerja. Dan cecah dia kata kalau untuk semua ekosistem, ratus ribu pekerja yang harus dilatih. Apakah kita ada keupayaan itu?
He said this while noting that Malaysia currently lacks 30,000 engineers. Datuk Seri Anwar said this in his speech at the closing ceremony of the Northern Zone Madani Rakyat 2024 program, held concurrently with the Pulau Penang Level Madani Aidil Fitri 2024 celebration at Tapak Pesta Sungai Nibong near Georgetown today. The Prime Minister also urged the Education Ministry, MOE, to continue efforts to foster interest among school students in science, technology, engineering and mathematics, STEM subjects, thereby strengthening the AI and TVET fields in the country. The Defence Services Asia, DSA and National Security NATSAC Asia 2024 exhibition starting tomorrow and running until 9th May will witness the signing of contracts and Memoranda of Understanding MOUs worth approximately 8.1 billion ringgit. Now, during a joint press conference today, Defence Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid Nordin and Home Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail announced that the Ministry of Defence will sign contracts and MOUs worth 6 billion ringgit, while the Home Ministry KDN will be involved in contracts worth 2.1 billion ringgit.
Kita akan adakan majlis tanda tangan pada hari Rabu sebelah petang. Memang ada sudah pun dikenal pasti beberapa kontrak dan perjanjian yang akan ditandatangani Bagi pihak Kementerian Pertahanan, dia lebih kurang dalam about 6 billion.
Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid said this after inspecting the final preparations for the exhibition with Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution at the Malaysia International Trade and Exhibition Centre, MITEC. At the DSA and NATSAC Asia's 17th edition 2 years ago, the Defence Ministry signed 54 contracts and MOUs worth 4.6 billion ringgit, while KDN signed 1 MOU and 8 contracts worth 2.596 billion ringgit. Datuk Seri Muhammad Khalid said the DSA and NATSAC Asia 2024, to be officiated by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim tomorrow, will feature 1,324 companies from 60 countries as exhibitors and 34 countries hosting their own pavilions. He noted a significant increase and progress compared to the 2022 edition, emphasizing that all preparations have been smoothly and efficiently completed. The government will build a rice mill in Kampung Bukit Hantu, Ulu Melaka, Langkawi next year. According to Agriculture and Food Security Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Sabu, it is the first rice mill to be built in the island, and the project is estimated to cost around 8.9 million ringgit. Datuk Seri Muhammad said the operations at the mill will be overseen by Bernas, and it will have the capabilities to process all types of paddy to help boost and ensure the country's food security.
Saya yakin kalau mereka buat dengan penuh sistematik, mereka akan dapat keuntungan. Dengan saya sebut tadi, struktur padi juga akan dibuat perubahan dalam masa yang terdekat ini.
Now, the Pulau Pinang government is placing emphasis on high-impact sectors such as integrated circuit IC design, research and development (R&D), and global business services (GBS) to ensure the sustainability of the future economy. Chief Minister Chow Koon Yeow said that the state government also aims to pioneer emerging fields that will not only benefit the state economy but also have positive spillover effects for other states in the Northern Corridor. Elaborating further on the matter, he said furthermore, efforts to strengthen the halal industry, halal tourism and Islamic finance technology or fintech within the state will contribute to diversifying investment flows and overall income into Malaysia. Chow also said that Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim's recent official visit to Saudi Arabia and several other countries hold the potential to assist Pulau Pinang in achieving its objectives. He further expressed hope that the Prime Minister will help the state in realizing these aspirations by directing investment potentials to Pulau Pinang, now hailed as the Silicon Valley of the East. The ringgit is expected to trade cautiously against the US dollar in the near term as investors continue to closely watch local and global economic developments moving forward. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad Chief Economist Muhammad Afsan Nizam Abdul Rashid said, among others, the U.S. Federal Reserve Fed Chairman Jerome Powell has clearly indicated that the option for a rate rise is not in the central bank's baseline scenario, although it is still concerned over inflation rate. This week, the ringgit, along with other ASEAN currencies, reacted towards the two-day Federal Open Market Committee meeting that concluded on Thursday. According to a dealer, the outcome of the meeting clearly shows that the higher-for-longer narratives for the U.S. interest rate are likely to stay in the near future, given the lack of progress in inflation reaching the Fed's target level. On a Friday-to-Friday basis, the ringgit strengthened versus the greenback from a week earlier. The local note also rose against the British pound over the week and appreciated vis-a-vis the euro, but it slipped versus the Japanese yen. The ringgit, meanwhile, traded mixed against ASEAN currencies. It appreciated against the Thai baht on Friday last week and climbed versus the Philippine peso. Now, an expert said the local rubber market is expected to be range-bound next week, with some restocking activities keeping the prices and demand equitable. Industry expert Dennis Lowe said the rubber market would remain at its current level with a minor tendency to move upwards, while supply and demand dynamics equalized each other. He said dry rubber demand will remain low and likely to be in a straight line as most big Chinese buyers may not be back to work from the Labor Day holiday yet. This may reduce demand and equalize the earlier shortage. Overall, Dennis said they believe that demand and prices should hold steady to range bound as they move along in the weeks ahead. Meanwhile, another dealer said prices for the commodity would continue to track the performance of regional rubber futures markets, the strength of the ringgit against the US dollar, and benchmark crude oil prices. This week, the local rubber market gained slightly on a weekly basis, supported by concerns over disrupted natural rubber supply in several producing countries due to unfavorable weather conditions. On a Friday-to-Friday basis, the Malaysian Rubber Board's MRB reference price for standard Malaysian rubber 20 or SMR 20 increased by 2.5 sen to 754 sen per kilogram from 751.5 sen last week, while latex in bulk rose 19.5 sen to 717 sen per kilogram from 697.5 sen previously. Now, the crude palm oil CPO futures contract on Bursa Malaysia derivatives is expected to trade on a slight upward bias ahead of key crop data next week. Palm oil trader David Ng said market participants will be monitoring the monthly Malaysian Palm Oil Board or MPOB report for April, which is scheduled to be released on Friday next week. On the other hand, Interbank Group of Companies senior palm oil trader Jim Teh said CPO futures are likely to trade in a yo-yo mode next week due to the ample supply of palm oil in Malaysia and Indonesia. The demand for commodity is expected to come from countries in the Middle East, China, India, Pakistan and the European Union, he said. Meanwhile, Mumbai-based Sunvin Group Commodity Research Head Anil Kumar Bagani said the export figures from Malaysia palm oil in April showed a month-on-month or MOM decline. For the week just ended, the market was mostly high, owing to bargain hunting and strong demand from India. On a weekly basis, the spot month May 2024 contract declined 41 ringgit to 3,890 ringgit a ton. June 2024 and July 2024 fell 52 ringgit each to 3,870 ringgit and 3,844 ringgit a ton, respectively. The physical CPO price for May South fell 70 ringgit to 3,930 ringgit a ton from 4,000 ringgit a ton in the previous week. Coming up, India is not xenophobic. Thank you for staying with us. Malaysia has urged unity and action among Muslim countries to address key issues that are affecting the Ummah worldwide. Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Hassan, in delivering the country's statement at the 15th Islamic Summit in Gambia, had highlighted the plight of the Palestinian people and Israel's illegal occupation and had called for immediate action to address the escalating tensions in West Asia. He said the escalation of tensions in West Asia will undoubtedly risk the global economy and the progress of the Ummah.
The OIC must be the voice to educate the misguided or misinformed masses so that they understand the legal and historical aspects of Palestinian cause. Only then we can see progress.
He urged for a ceasefire, unhindered access to aid delivery, accountability for violations of international law, and the admission of Palestine as a full member of the United Nations. Dato' Sri Muhammad has described that the two-day conference organized by the OIC in Banjul, Gambia, as a self-reflective gathering of the Ummah's challenges and the OIC's role in addressing them. He also expressed concern over the rise of Islamophobia, emphasizing the need for collective efforts to combat prejudice and discrimination against Muslims. India is not xenophobic, the country's foreign minister has insisted after comments by U.S. President Joe Biden suggesting the South Asian nation and fellow ally Japan were struggling economically because they rejected migrants. Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar told a media roundtable that Biden's comments did not match India's reality. India is one of the world's fastest growing economies, with annualized GDP growth of 8.4% in the December quarter, according to official data in February. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Hindu nationalist government has been accused by critics of discriminating against Muslims, including through recently enacted reforms to India's citizenship law. The amended law sparked huge protests when it was first passed by Parliament in 2019 and finally enacted in March, with Amnesty International warning that it still risked being used as a tool alongside a mooted National Register of Citizens to deprive some Muslims of citizenship. Biden had clubbed allies India and Japan in with rivals China and Russia in remarks intended as a defense of U.S. immigration policy. The White House has since had to downplay Biden's remarks. Chinese President Xi Jinping's state visit to France is of great significance in building on the past achievements and opening up new prospects for bilateral relations as the two countries celebrate the 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations. Xi started his state visit to France today at the invitation of his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron. The visit marks the second state visit by China's head of state to France in 5 years and coincides with the 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between the two countries. During the visit, Xi will hold talks with Macron and exchange in-depth views on China-France and China-Europe relations, as well as on international and regional hotspot issues on common concern. France was the first major Western country to establish diplomatic relations with the People's Republic of China at the ambassadorial level in 1964. And the bilateral relationship has been steadily strengthened since then. 60 years on, France has become China's third largest trading partner and the third largest source of actual investment in the European Union. China is France's largest trading partner in Asia and seventh largest trading partner in the world. Now that concludes this edition of Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, foreign reports on fuel subsidy cut unethical. I'm Otto Othman from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Thanks for watching and have a pleasant evening ahead.